Alright guys, welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to be looking at single image ambient shot, one image only, and I'm going to show you how to edit this, at least how I edit it. And is it going to work for every single listing? Is it going to work for every single room? No, but when it does, it's great. It saves you a ton of time and it doesn't look bad as long as your verticals and your composition are really good. It's going to look high end. It's going to look professional. Okay. Are you going to have super strong window pulls? No, but a lot of times that doesn't matter. So I shot this particular listing on my full frame Panasonic S5 Mark II on my 20 millimeter. It's a zoom lens. Is a 20 to I believe it's a 20 to 60 millimeter, and again, it's variable aperture, 3.5 to 5.6, but I think I was at, f6.3 at 20 millimeters, ISO 100, 1/20th of a second. So this is straight out of camera. This is what it looked like. This gave me about a 0 on my meter, and I made sure on my histogram I wasn't clipping my highlights. That's one thing you want to make sure of if you're not clipping your highlights, because look, I can bring that exposure back up, but then I can drop my highlights down to get that window view, and again keep adjusting that. You're not going to have crisp window views, and then I can even bring those shadows up a little bit. My camera or Lightroom, I'm going to increase my sharpening 70, 75, somewhere like that, and then Lightroom does now have a preset for this lens, so it automatically does it. I'm going to hit my vertical. And yeah, that looked like it corrected it pretty good. I don't know as if I need to do anything else. Maybe get that exposure more to the right of center. And again, I can still bring those highlights down a little bit. I mean, that is actually a pretty clean window pull as far as window pulls go. Maybe the blacks, or you know what we could do is maybe just increase the contrast just a little bit. Maybe go to 5. And then I like to hold down, or option. I'm on a Mac. But see how it's starting to reveal where I'm clipping those blacks? Maybe just give it a little bit more punch there like that. I like that. That looks good. Now all I'm going to do is come over here to copy and then copy. And now all I have to do is paste these settings in. So I'm going to move to the next image. This is what it looked like after. Let's reset it. So this is where you want to be. Again, I did not clip those highlights. Even I could have probably gone even one stop over. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still not clipping. And then drop those highlights down. But let's just paste those settings in, see what that does. And again, you might have to just do a little bit of tweaking there. Move on to the next one. Let's reset it. Straight out of camera. Paste those settings in. Bring that exposure down. You know, we got some color casting. I like to take my do standard for my profile. I forgot to do that on the other ones, I think. Yeah. It just flattens it out just enough. So we'll just copy those settings in. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, again, for these bedrooms that are, see, even a nice bathroom shot. Now, here's the other downside. If you're going to do this method, is you're going to probably want to do lights off, or you're going to have to figure out, seeing it, they're not too bad. I mean, this isn't actually blooming as bad as I thought it was going to. Bring that up. So, you know, you are going to have haloing around your light fixtures. But that's where I always have a flash on me. If you need to do like a repair layer, I just pop that flash for whatever reason. You know, shots like this where you don't have any windows, you can just either pop a flash or just use natural light that's coming in. Paste those settings in. Again, these were already done. Maybe, obviously, I would have to correct the verticals on this one. You know, your guidelines. So what I'm doing when I'm doing this right now, I'm watching this line right here. Making sure that that's straight up and down. Like that. And maybe rotate. So the mirror. There we go. Let's see what this one. This one was a tough one because I had this light on. Well, I didn't have it on. The homeowner did. But if we took our highlights all the way down. Oh, wait. Was it on? No, it wasn't on. We're dealing with the sun coming in. That was the problem. So let's just paste our settings in and see what that looks like. And of course, I'd overexposed it. that actually doesn't look too bad. You know what we could do too is, say you're like one side of the image is dark, you could take your brush tool here, or your masking tool, use the brush, and then just kind of paint in where you want to make those corrections. Maybe just along this part, and maybe under here. Oop, just a little bit. This feature in Lightroom is just so awesome. I use it for a lot of my ceiling corrections now. If I don't want to have to bring it back into you know, Photoshop for any reason. Look at this, I'm just brightening that side of it, and that's good. Let's look at the before and after of this one. Which one was, yeah. So we brought back those highlights here and brightened up that right side, and that is, I mean, again, this shot would be featuring this woodwork. You don't need to get crazy and start firing flashes everywhere. And again, if you're doing lights off, then the window light is going to, you know, be, you know, that daylight balance, obviously. And if you didn't need to pop flash, then it would work. So if we had lights on over here and they were in tungsten lights, that's going to cause two different color casts. You have daylight coming in and then tungsten lighting coming in over here. Well, that would make your wall color look funky because you have to kind of compromise where your white balance needs to be. So again, highly recommend, if you're going to shoot this way, just do lights off, use the ambient light to your advantage, and let the ambient light light the room, however that's lit. So that's the other thing to be mindful of, though. If you are shooting rooms with hardwood floors and you don't have any flash layer to like repair the glare that's coming off the hardwood from the windows, you're going to want to use a circular polarizer filter. Most times you're going to be able to pull that glare out of the floor. Here are a couple that I highly recommend. These Hoyas, depending on the size of the filter, they're pretty cheap, considering that these filters can get up anywhere from $150 to $300. But here's another brand. Tiffin is really well known in the industry, and look at this, is $25. So this is the one I use for my my full frame 20mm lens that I shoot on sometimes, and then my other little tiny camera, my Micro Four Thirds. So I think that was only $25-$30 also. This one is for a 67mm. Again, that's the difference between Tiffin and Hoya. Is the quality better on these ones? Maybe. Is it noticeable? I don't know. I actually haven't shot on this Tiffin yet. I will do another review on this. But yeah, I'll leave a link in the description for these two. But let's get back to this. So this is how that room looks. Again, here, let's paste these settings in. Probably didn't do much because these are already fixed. Maybe I'll white balance that better. There we go. Brighten that up a little bit more. But you get the idea. So there you go. Practice with it. Practice. Remember, if you don't clip the highlights, you should be able to bring those back. Bring that exposure up in post. It's a lot easier to recover shadows than it is to recover highlights, because once you clip those highlights, they're gone. A lot of times if you clip your blacks, it's not going to matter as much in areas where it's not going to matter, you know, underneath a couch or underneath a tub, for example. So just keep that in mind. Leave me a comment below if you're shooting with Single Image Ambient, and if you found it to speed up your workflow, let me know in the comments. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Tutorials are coming out all the time. Thanks for watching, guys.